Okay, hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome into another edition of the Regular Guy NBA DFS show. I am David. Welcome in to the dungeon once again, and let's get started. Let's take a look at this two-game slate here for a Sunday. Looks like we're going to be running out of two-game slates coming up, guys. Got one today. I think we've got one tomorrow. Then it looks like 3 days of showdowns. Showdowns aren't really my thing yet, but we're going to put some videos out. We might get interactive with you guys. Maybe you guys can help me be a better showdown player. But I'm learning. Didn't do too bad yesterday. I did break down and play some showdown. But anyway, before we get into the video, guys, real quick, if I could get you to hit that like button down below, I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you'd hit the subscribe button and then click that little notification bell so you get notified when every time we put out new videos. Again, I've been telling you we're going to start trying to increase the number of videos we put out as we get through NBA season here and then start getting closer to the NFL season. We'll have some NFL preview stuff, some golf stuff as well if you guys are into playing fantasy golf. I do play quite a bit of fantasy golf myself. What a break I caught yesterday. I didn't have a lineup with John Rahm in it. Ahead by 6 strokes and has to withdraw because of COVID. So anyway, looking back real quick on our little two-gamer we played from Friday and Saturday, did okay, made a small profit. Blake friggin' Griffin. I mean, really? Really? And Mike James. Blake Griffin hadn't played more than, 25 minutes, hadn't been productive at all. James Harden gets hurt in a minute, and they put freaking Blake, and he goes for like a double-double. I don't know, man. It's just... We did all right in the two-gamer. Obviously, we might have taken it down if we'd had Blake Griffin in it. But anyway, just stuff like that is going to happen throughout the playoffs. So we're going to kick off a new series today with Atlanta, Philadelphia. And it's much different than Atlanta versus New York and Philly versus Washington. So I'm not even sure exactly what to expect from this series. But anyway, things like that can happen where guys that didn't play much at all in the previous series just all of a sudden come out and get big minutes and put up a big game. So today's pick six is going to be a little bit different, guys, because I'm going to throw a couple lineups at you here because I'm going to play a couple lineups, and which it's just going to be interesting to see where ownership is today and which way people go. I think a very popular thing to do today is going to be to try and jam Luka and Kawhi Leonard into the same lineup. They've been the guys this entire series. Kawhi had another big night last game. Luka can go off for 75, 80 fantasy points. You never know. Now, I kind of expect the Clippers to win this game today, but I kind of expected them to win at home last time, so who the hell knows? But anyway, I think Luka, Kawhi is going to be, a fairly popular way people try and go today. And it does work, and I can just put it in for you because I built a few lineups this morning. So if you want to go the Luka Kawhi route, this is what I came up with. Luka and then a guy that I'm going to have today regardless, just because he's been getting the minutes. Reggie Jackson has been really good for the Clippers. Again, he's been getting the minutes. It's basically just been him and Rondo with a little bit of man mixed in. Pat Beverly hasn't really been a factor at all getting minutes throughout this series. I don't see any reason that's going to change in a Game 7. So, so I think Reggie Jackson is a fabulous value play. He has come up a little bit, quite a bit actually, to 5,400. But if he's going to get the minutes, he had a big game last game. That's what we're looking for here, guys. Guys that get minutes. And even if they're not terribly productive players, just having them in the lineup, you're ahead of most people. And then of course we'll put Leonard into our small forward position since he's only eligible for that. And then here's what I came up with after that. Again, it's a minutes thing. He's not a terribly productive player. And you kind of have a choice here, at least I did the way I built it. Nicholas Batum or Danny Green. I'm going to take my chances with Batum. I think he has more upside, even though he's not always a terribly productive player. But again, minutes. He's been getting the minutes. him and Marcus Morris both. And you could put Morris in here too. I actually kind of like Morris a little bit today, but for the sake of this build, I'm going to put Batum in here. And then, first of all, let me say this: everything that I am building right now, and that I'm going to talk about today, or in this video, is absolutely completely based on the fact that Dwight Howard, Joel Embiid does not play. If Embiid plays, I got to redo everything. You got to decide if he's going to be worth putting in a lineup. Is it going to be a Anthony Davis situation where he tries to play and plays 4 minutes? Is he going to be able to fight through it and play? Everything right now is based on the assumption that Joel Embiid does not play. So, because of that, I'm going to go to Dwight Howard in the center position. Dwight Howard really hasn't played a ton of minutes, but I think in this matchup, the Washington series, there really wasn't any bigs down low that Philadelphia had to worry about. Totally different situation today with Clint Capela. So they're going to need some size in there. I don't think they're going to go to Matisse Thybulle and play Ben Simmons at a 5 against Capela. I guess they could, but regardless, at some point they're going to have a center out there. Mike Scott is not someone that I enjoy rostering at all. And if Howard gets 25 to 30 minutes, we all know he can be very productive. So Howard would go in the center spot here. And then I would go to another Philly guy in this guard position. Maxey has been getting some minutes. He's been pretty productive. Again, this is all with Embiid off the floor. But as you look, 22 and 26 minutes, 23, 25 fantasy points. At 3,900, I don't need more than that. I mean, that's fine. 20 fantasy points is basically 5K. Anything over that's a bonus. So he seems to be getting more minutes than George Hill. Now, this could be one of those situations I'm a little nervous about it because Maxey seems to have been getting most of the minutes over George Hill. Now you come into a matchup with Atlanta. Maybe they decide George Hill is a better matchup and they put him in. So it's just crazy stuff like this can happen as we go series to series. At this point, I'm going to assume that they continue on with Tyrese Maxey getting most of the minutes. He's a more productive player generally than George Hill, so I'll put Maxey in that position. Then we're going to go a couple ways you could go here, and this was kind of strange because I got to this point in the build and I'm like, okay, I can fit Porzingis or Hardaway Jr. in. God, normally you would think just put Porzingis in, right? Kristaps Porzingis. He's supposed to be, a star in this league. He's just been god-awful. Tim Hardaway is very scoring dependent, however. So it's kind of a toss-up here, actually. I went ahead and went with Hardaway. That way it allows me to put a guy that has been getting significant minutes again for Atlanta in at this final utility position with Kevin Huerter. He's not overly productive, guys. 20, 25, 19 minutes. You just hope he gets you around 20 fantasy points. His minutes went down in that last game against New York, but he had been getting generally, somewhere between 20 and 27 minutes. So he's not a great play. You could certainly go to a guy like Boban if they continue to play him. Boban's minutes make me nervous again. It's just all about minutes. But I'm going to put Huerter in for the lineup, and this is the Luka Leonard lineup that I think a lot of guys are going to try and get to. So play with it how you want. As you see, there is room to play those two guys together. We don't really get a third stud in, again, unless we wanted to go to take Hardaway Jr. out if we're going to consider Porzingis a stud. He just hasn't played like a stud. And then you could go to a guy like, that didn't go right. Anyway, you get the point. You can put Porzingis in, and then you could go to Boban from Dallas and just hope that they continue to start him over Maxi Kleber. If he goes out and plays well, he'll be in the lineup. If not, though, they could pull him, and he could get 15 minutes in the game. So, again, he's very risky, but I just want to put that up to show you that there is a route to get a Luka and Kawhi lineup in there. I don't really get the third stud that we try to get, and I think today might be a day to maybe try and get a third stud in, since we apparently are going to have some value from Philadelphia again. I'm banking on Joel Embiid not playing, so that's that lineup. Now, if you want to try and go a different route, and not try and jam Luka in since he's 11,100 at the top, I put together a couple other lineups, and I'm trying to decide here which one I think is the best one. So we're going to go with this one. We're going to start at point guard, and we're going to put Simmons in. I don't know if Simmons is going to be nearly as productive against Atlanta as he has been, but without Embiid on the floor, we know the usage is going to run through Simmons, and it's going to run through Tobias Harris. So I don't have any problem starting Simmons and just hope he has a good scoring game. I think Simmons, I'm going to stay away from Trae Young today. That's another tidbit that I'll give you as far as how I'm going to do things today. Ben Simmons is a really good defender, and I don't think they're going to start him at the 5, and I think they're going to play him on Trae Young. Now, if we get word that they go with the lineup that they went with last time, where Thibault started and Simmons plays a 5, then I got to think very seriously about redoing these lineups and getting to Trae Young. Trae Young could go out and have a huge game. We all know he has that upside, but I'm just going to go with Philadelphia at home and Simmons on Trae Young. I'm gonna fade him today. So if we go with Simmons, we all expect Kawhi to have a big game, right? Well, here's how I'm thinking. This is a 7-game series. It's the last game, Clippers and Mavericks at home. If we ever needed a huge game from Paul George, it would be today. So Kawhi's had so many big games. What if Paul George today is the day that they finally go to Paul George? I mean, he's had 50 fantasy points the last 2 games. But maybe he's the guy that scores 35 points today and gets 13 boards and 5 or 6 assists, and he puts off for a 60 or 70 piece. He certainly has that capability. It's just been mainly the Kawhi show lately, but the last 2 games almost exactly 51 fantasy points. So I'll throw George in here instead of Kawhi Leonard and hope that he has a bigger game. And then we'll go to Morris. I just like the fact of the minutes that Morris plays. He's getting the minutes. Him and Nicholas Batum. And I just think Marcus Morris Sr. is a little bit more of a productive player than Nick Batum overall. So I will put him, into the small forward position. And then we're going to go to Clint Capela at center. If there's no Joel Embiid, dang it, sorry guys. If there's no Joel Embiid, I think Clint Capela at 7,700 could be a really good play on this slate. He's probably going to get between 13 and 15 rebounds. It's just how much scoring opportunity does he get? Would I be surprised if Capela came out here and scored 20, 25 points and had 15 rebounds? No. We don't have a lot of great choices at the center position with or without Embiid, because I don't know how good of an option that he is. Even if he does play. But again, I think Clint Capela is a fabulous play here at center. If there's no Embiid on the floor, he should really kind of have his way down there. So we're going to go with him there. And then the guard spot, I am going to go right back to, where am I at here? I'm going to go right back to Reggie Jackson. He's gotten the minutes. He's been productive. And I think that he'll continue to do that again today in this Game 7. So, again, Pat Beverly really hasn't been in the lineup that much. So, that gives me a chance here then for my last choice in this pick 6. I love this price tag on John Collins, okay? I know he's up and down, kind of iffy. But again, if there's no Embiid down there, Tobias Harris is going to be responsible for guarding Capela a little bit more. This could be a spot that John Collins smashes. So at 5,900, he's under 6K. I'm not putting Luka or Kawhi Leonard into this lineup. I'm going to go with John Collins and just hope that he has a big game down low with no Embiid on the floor. So that's the pick six here. We can go ahead and finish this one out if you'd like. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and take a flyer on Boban here, and that leaves us 5,100 left to play with in our forward position, and you see what we have to choose from. Finney Smith or Batum. Finney Smith been getting huge minutes. He's not always a terribly productive player, but I think the last 2 games he's had almost 29 fantasy points. That's 6x. When we get to 30 for Finney Smith, he's going to get big minutes again today, so I have no problem playing him in this position. So this is a lineup that's a little bit more of the balanced lineup instead of the quote-unquote studs and scrubs that we try and do oftentimes when we get some value. But again, it doesn't have Leonard in it, and it doesn't have Luka in it. And I'm just going to put it in and hope that we get some big games from some other guys, specifically Paul George and Clint Capela. So that's going to do it for this morning's video, guys. I tried to get it out as quick as I can. We gave you several different options here, so we'll see how it works out. Before you get out of here again, if you don't mind, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, click the little notification bell, and follow me on Twitter at SandoDFS. I like to put out updates as we get closer to lock sometimes, especially like if an Embiid or something would get ruled in here. We might have some updates to these plays. We also are still doing a playoff long $25 in DFS dollars via PayPal. So if you follow me on Twitter and you retweet the post that will have the link to this video in it, you're automatically entered into it. I've got the little list I've shown you guys. I can't reach it right now. Or just leave a comment down below in the comment section right here. Hey, you suck. Hey, nice job. Whatever. Any comment will do. We just appreciate you watching the videos, and we'll enter you in that way too. $25 via PayPal for daily fantasy purposes. So that's it, guys. 2-game slate. Good luck to all of us as normal, and hopefully we'll make a profit today, and I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. Happy Sunday. We'll see you then, guys.